Welcome to System Dynamics Online Tutorials. What I'm going to show you is the ability of Dynamic 3i to actually have a cell phone make a query against an expense entry on the production system to get an inquiry back as to whether that expense for the particular salesman or whoever's out in the field, see whether the expense has been approved or not. And what the only requirement that the rep or the salesperson needs to have is a web-enabled cell phone. And what we have here is an emulator that I'm going to show you that's set up as a cell phone with all the accesses into the web, and you may set this up in a manner where we would have like bookmarks set. I've set up one for Dynamic 3i to interface with our web applications, and we have the ability to do an iExpense inquiry. And what the system will do will basically log me in or ask me for a login, which we'll see in a moment, and then I'll be able to retrieve my expenses statuses as to whether they've been approved or not. This is the production system here, which is internal. Again, it's running on the internet as well too. However, this is more of a front office or back office where the person would be approving the expenses. And I have an expense set up here, so if I query up this particular expense for employee number 8, they have an expense out here for lodging for $175 waiting for approval. Now if we go back into the cell phone application, bring up the cell phone and log into the iExpense, I'm presented with an employee login, so I'll log in as employee 8 with my password, and the system will go out and retrieve me all of my expenses that I have entered prior to this particular expense and display them to me on the screen of the actual cell phone. And what we have here is for Frank all of the expenses that he was entered, and we basically just scroll down on the cell phone and it will show me the entries requested and the dollar amounts approved across the chronologically in date order sequence, 2003, 07, 11, 07, 23, etc. And it will come down to the bottom for his last approved amount of 170 for lodging. So just to see how this actually gets updated here, this one is pending approval. So if we go back online to the head office, somebody would approve this amount for $175 and basically save that to the database. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to step further and do an expense update for that particular run, and that's going to get updated into the system. So coming back to the cell phone and basically just logging back in here, employee 8, password, and reconnecting, we'll see by scrolling down across all my approvals and statuses there, we'll see that the next lodging for August 17th for $175 was requested and $175 approved.